Ever wondered why China absolutely dominates table tennis? Why they've won 32 out of 37 possible Olympic gold medals since 1988? It's not just talent. It's a training methodology so scientifically refined, so brutally efficient, that it's turned table tennis into something closer to chess at 100 miles per hour. In this video, we're breaking down the Chinese table tennis training system and showing you how to apply these principles to skyrocket your own game. Whether you're a beginner or intermediate player, these methods will transform your training. Let's dive in. The philosophy: repetition until it's unconscious. Here's the truth that most recreational players don't want to hear. You will never improve significantly by just playing games. You know what I'm talking about. Showing up to the club, playing matches, having fun, going home. Meanwhile, Chinese players are doing something completely different. They're drilling, relentlessly, obsessively. Thousands upon thousands of repetitions of the same stroke until it becomes as natural as breathing. But why does this work? Think about it this way. When you're playing a match, your conscious mind is occupied with tactics, reading your opponent, adjusting strategy. If you're also thinking about your stroke technique, am I rotating my hips? Is my elbow too high? Where's my weight? You're already too slow. Table tennis happens in milliseconds. By the time you've consciously thought about your technique, the ball has already passed you. Chinese training philosophy demands that technique becomes unconscious. Your body should execute the perfect forehand loop without your brain giving detailed instructions. How do you achieve this? Through what they call multi-ball training, and it's absolutely brutal but incredibly effective. Multi-ball training, the secret weapon. Picture this: you're at the table. A coach or training partner is on the other side with a box of 100+ balls. They're not rallying with you. They're feeding you balls, one after another, rapid fire, targeting specific areas. You're executing the same stroke repeatedly: forehand topspin, forehand topspin, forehand topspin. 20 balls, 40 balls, 60 balls. Your arm is burning, your legs are shaking, but you keep going. This is multi-ball training, and it's the cornerstone of Chinese table tennis development. Why is this so much more effective than regular practice? Because it eliminates downtime. In a normal rally, you might execute a forehand topspin once every 10 to 15 seconds, maybe getting 50 repetitions in a 15-minute practice session. With multi-ball training, you're getting 200 to 300 repetitions in the same time period. The math is simple. More quality repetitions equals faster improvement. But here's the key most people miss. It's not just mindless repetition. Each ball must be executed with perfect technique, maximum focus, and match-like intensity. The Chinese don't just drill, they drill perfectly. A sloppy repetition is worse than no repetition because you're programming bad habits into your muscle memory. How to implement this yourself? Find a training partner willing to feed you balls, or invest in a ball catch net and do it solo. Start with basic drills: 20 forehands to your forehand side, 20 backhands to your backhand side. Focus obsessively on technique. Film yourself. Compare to professional players. Adjust. Repeat. Gradually increase complexity, random placement, varied spin, faster tempo, but never sacrifice technique for speed. The foundation: footwork is everything. Want to know the real difference between a club player and a professional? It's not their strokes. Plenty of club players have technically sound strokes. It's footwork. Chinese coaches will tell you 70% of table tennis is footwork, 30% is stroke technique. Think about that. If you're standing in the wrong position, even perfect stroke mechanics won't help you. Watch Chinese players in slow motion. Notice something? They're never stationary. They're constantly making tiny adjustment steps, staying on their toes, weight balanced and ready to explode in any direction. They're anticipating where the ball will go and positioning themselves optimally before it even arrives. Meanwhile, recreational players are reaching, stretching, lunging, compensating for poor positioning with desperate technique adjustments. The Chinese approach to footwork training is systematic and progressive. They start young players with basic side-to-side movement drills without even touching a ball. Just moving correctly, push off the outside foot, small shuffle steps, stay low, maintain balance, return to ready position. Sounds boring, right? But this foundational work is what allows advanced players to cover the entire table at impossible speeds. The brutal truth: your forehand loop will never be consistent if you're executing it from a different position every time. Footwork puts you in the optimal position. Stroke technique finishes the point. They're inseparable. How to train: footwork. Set up cones or markers. Practice moving between positions without a ball. Forehand corner to backhand corner, fast but controlled. Add a ball only when your movement pattern is automatic. Do shadow training. Visualize rallies and practice the footwork without actually hitting anything. It looks silly. It works incredibly well. Specificity. Training must match your goals. Here's where most players waste enormous amounts of time. They practice things that don't actually improve their match performance. They drill techniques they'll never use. They practice at intensities that don't match competition. The Chinese system is obsessed with specificity. Every training session has a clear purpose aligned with measurable improvement. Ask yourself, what aspect of your game loses you the most points? Is it your return of serve, your consistency on backhand blocks, your footwork in the middle distance? Whatever it is, that should be your primary training focus, not the fancy shot you saw on YouTube, not the technique that looks cool, the thing that actually wins or loses you points. Chinese players break down every aspect of the game into component parts and train them separately before integrating them. Serve training, serve return training, third ball attack training, fourth ball counter training. Each element is isolated, perfected, then gradually combined with others. By the time they're playing matches, they've already encountered and trained every possible situation thousands of times. The training cycle they use: isolation, combination, random, match pressure. First, drill one element perfectly, then combine it with another element. Then practice both in random order. Finally, practice under match-like pressure and fatigue. This progression ensures that skills transfer from training to competition. Your action step: identify your biggest weakness. Design a specific drill that targets only that weakness. Dedicate 30% of every practice session to that drill for 1 month. Track your progress. You'll be shocked at the improvement. Intensity: train harder than you compete. Ever notice how Chinese players stay so calm in matches? It's because competition is easier than their training. They practice at intensities far beyond match conditions, under demanding coaches and constant pressure, so real games feel manageable by comparison. This is called overtraining intensity, not burnout, but purposeful excess. If matches are best of 5 to 11, training goes longer. If rallies are fast, practice is faster. If fatigue hits in Game 3, training pushes past it. They train 6 to 8 hours a day, but quality matters more than time. Intense intervals, short recovery, then back to pressure. This builds skill that survives exhaustion. The lesson is simple: stop casual practice, get uncomfortable, comfort maintains, discomfort elevates. Video analysis: the mirror doesn't lie. Here's something every Chinese training facility has: video analysis systems. Players are constantly filmed. Coaches review footage. Players watch themselves. They compare their technique to professionals. They identify tiny flaws invisible in real time. Then they correct those flaws through targeted drilling. Why is this so powerful? Because your internal sense of what you're doing often doesn't match reality. You think you're rotating your hips, but video shows you're all arms. You think you're following through completely, but video reveals you're abbreviating the motion. You feel like you're balanced, but video shows you leaning. The camera doesn't lie. It doesn't care about your feelings or excuses. It shows exactly what's happening, allowing for objective analysis and correction. Chinese players develop this self-awareness early. They learn to feel the difference between correct and incorrect technique and constantly self-correct. Your practical application: use your phone, set it up during practice, record your strokes from multiple angles, watch the footage, really watch it, not just glancing. Compare frame by frame with professional players executing the same stroke, identify differences, make specific technical adjustments, record again. Repeat until your stroke matches the professional model. This single practice will accelerate your improvement more than months of mindless drilling. The pyramid: build from the bottom up. Chinese development follows a strict pyramid: basic strokes at the base, combination play in the middle, advanced techniques at the top. You cannot skip levels. Too many players chase flashy techniques before mastering fundamentals, attempting reverse pendulum serves without consistent backspin serves, trying backhand flicks without solid backhand drives. This guarantees bad habits. Chinese players spend years perfecting basic drives and footwork before advancing. It seems slow, but creates unshakable foundations. Think of buildings. Weak foundations collapse at 3 stories. Strong ones reach 50. Choose reliability over flash. Your checklist: can you execute 50+ consecutive drives with perfect technique and footwork? If not, stop chasing fancy shots and drill fundamentals relentlessly. Mental training: the overlooked element. Here's what surprises people about Chinese training. They don't just train physical technique. They systematically train mental toughness, focus, and competitive psychology. Table tennis is incredibly mental. One point can swing momentum. One error can spiral into many. Your ability to maintain focus and composure under pressure determines your competitive ceiling. Chinese players practice pressure training, deliberately creating high-stakes situations in practice. They'll set consequences for missing shots. They'll simulate match scores and practice playing out critical points. They'll train when exhausted to simulate late-match mental fatigue. All of this builds psychological resilience. They also practice extreme focus exercises. Can you maintain perfect technique and focus for 100 consecutive balls without a single error? This isn't just physical, it's intensely mental. Your mind wants to wander, you want to relax. But training yourself to maintain peak focus for extended periods directly translates to match performance. Try this drill. Set a target number, say 30 consecutive forehand loops without error. If you miss, restart from 0. This is psychologically demanding. The closer you get to 30, the more pressure you feel. But learning to execute under that self-imposed pressure builds mental toughness that transfers to competition. Putting it all together, your action plan. So how do you actually implement Chinese-style training? Here's your roadmap. Week 1 to 4, film yourself playing. Identify your biggest technical weakness. Design a specific multi-ball drill targeting that weakness. Dedicate 30 minutes of every practice session to this drill, executing it with perfect technique. Week 5 to 8, add footwork training. 15 minutes of shadow footwork drills before touching a ball. Focus on positioning and movement patterns. Week 9 to 12, introduce intensity. Train harder than you compete. Set specific targets and consequences. Push into discomfort zones. Ongoing. Video analysis monthly. Compare yourself to professionals. Adjust technique. Always be refining your fundamentals. The Chinese approach isn't magic. It's systematic, scientific, and brutally honest about what actually produces improvement. It requires discipline, patience, and a willingness to do boring, repetitive work that most people avoid. But if you commit to these principles, your improvement will shock you. Chinese table tennis dominance isn't an accident or purely genetics. It's the result of a training methodology refined over decades to produce maximum improvement in minimum time. The principles, multi-ball drilling, perfect technique, specificity, intensity, video analysis, strong fundamentals, mental training, are applicable to players at any level. The question is, are you willing to train like them? What's your biggest table tennis challenge right now? Is it footwork, consistency, reading spin? Drop a comment and let's discuss how to apply these Chinese training principles to your specific situation. If you found this video valuable and want to actually improve instead of just playing for fun, smash that like button and subscribe to the channel for more table tennis training insights, technique breakdowns, and improvement strategies. Hit the notification bell so you never miss an upload. What training topic should we cover next? Let us know. Thanks for watching, and remember, champions are made in training, not in matches. Now get out there and drill like a champion. See you in the next video.